Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Oh, Socks was sitting nicely just in the range of the camera there for a bit and he was shouting at me. I don't know why, it's just after attention. Come on, sit nicely. It's Halloween and I've been dipping into spooky stories in the books I was talking about the other day. The best of which is probably, I don't know actually, I reread Daphne du Maurier's what's it called, Socks? Don't Look Now. And it's amazing. It is quite different to the film, although I've got to rewatch the film and find out exactly how it's different. But I feel like it is. It has the same dread and menace, and it suddenly takes this swerve at one point into the magical, into the spooky, but also this kind of dreadful sense of inevitability of somebody's life going out of control. And with those drawings by Michael Foreman, it just adds something very kind of dense and macabre and soggy. His pictures, oh, they're under a pile of books. Hold on. His pictures are kind of soggy looking because they're on heavy watercolor paper, and you can see the layers and layers of stuff that he's allowed to dry. They still look wet. That's what they look like. I like watercolor pictures that still look wet. I can't find the page now with one hand. Anyway, that's the collection and it's great. Also, the Susan Hill collection that my mum bought me 25 years ago or more. I've been dipping into, and there's a Jan Mark story about called Newell, about a family who end up putting a coat and a hat on top of this newel post at the bottom of their stairs, and it starts walking about in the night, seen only by the little boy in the house. And there's a drawing that goes with that that's so spooky I can't even open the book. And a George Mackay Brown story about a remote Scottish island that I read years ago and I've gone back to again and again. That's just beautiful, a kind of Christmassy ghost story that happens in little kind of episodes that fold into each other. He's such a subtle writer. I should read more of him. A poetic short story writer, George Mackay Brown. I haven't read much, but just that one I've loved. And this collection. There's the story by Audrey Neffenegger herself is amazing. A cat story, and it's it feels a bit like a kind of Japanese story in a way, in that it's somebody moving to an empty house that feels a bit uncanny and haunted, and there's a cellar that goes down, is full of inexplicable things. So it does feel a bit like a kind of Murakami kind of story. It has that quietness about it. Something I really appreciate in ghost stories. At the moment, I'm halfway through a P.G. Wodehouse story that's about genre fiction and a man who writes thrillers being haunted by his dead aunt who used to write romance. A story called Honeysuckle Cottage, which is clearly a classic that I've missed out on and is delightful. So that's been my afternoon so far. I've also, just to swing round, been reorganising my shelf closest to where I sit. I don't know if you can see, it's usually a collection of, it's a ragbag collection usually of poetry and picture books, and I've decided it should be hardback children's classics that I love to read and reread. And there's Moomins and Wombles and Winnie the Pooh and Wind in the Willows, but also kind of slightly obscure things as well that I don't think people might know about the Woozles, for example. Oh, the Woozies, sorry, not the Woozles, that's something else. And a couple of Scholastic books that I've found in the last couple of years, Christmassy ones. There's also Sid Fleischman's The Ghost on Saturday Night, which I love. A lovely copy of Mary Poppins, a really nice copy of The Sword and the Stone, and a copy of the Jungle Books that I've had since I was a kid. I don't think I've read the whole thing still. It came from a book club that we were part of as a whole family. That's a nice book. Jane and the Kenilworth Occurrences by Francis Gapper. A kid's book from about 79, I think. And The Snowman, which is a book I found in a bookshop that's now gone in Frodsham. A kid's book, again, from the 70s. And I found this when I was digging through books. This is the whole reason for digging through your books and reordering things and changing shelves, is that you find things you think you've lost. And I've looked for this last Christmas and I despaired of finding it again. It's called The Little House Treasury, and it's an illustrated, well, it's always illustrated, the Little House books, but they're in colour this time. It's a treasury, it's nicely done. And it's all the Christmas chapters from all of those wonderful Laura Ingalls Wilder books, just in time for the Christmas reading to begin. Because I suppose after today, the Halloween books should be put away, and Lovecraft should be put away for a while. Although I've not really read any Lovecraft. I did read some in the summer. It's not been a thing for this Halloween. This Halloween I would characterise as reading slightly spooky, soggy stories that are low in threat, but full of, just kind of uncanny chills. That's been my taste for reading this particular season. And I don't think I'll begin with Christmas on November the 1st. I don't think so anyway. We'll see. Maybe I will. Maybe the next time you see me, I'll be like full on Christmas. It's November and I've gone Christmassy. I might surprise you. Anyway, that's a quick catch up for where I am on this very quiet Halloween afternoon. I hope you're doing some spooky reading yourself and enjoying the season. Okay, I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.